Settlement worker with Edmonton Immigrant Services Association.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gabriel Ephraim. I am a settlement practitioner with Edmonton Immigrant Services Association.
And we're here to talk to you guys about Edmonton Immigrant Services Association, but with a focus on children and youth services of EISA. Let's just get started. Like, who are we? Who is EISA? Well, we're an immigrant serving agency. We were born in 1976, and we've been operating out of the office in downtown since, well, we've been kind of moving around, but that's our primary location right now. And we offer a variety of settlement services to newcomer families, parents, youth, refugees. We also service newcomer who are on visas and whatnot. So yeah, that's what we do. And we provide them out of our, I already said it, primary office downtown Edmonton, but we work out of various locations. So schools and libraries. So today I actually want to talk to you guys about children and youth services and where we currently are right now, this moment. So 2023 to present, we are currently in about 70 locations in Edmonton Public Schools and Edmonton Catholic. And we provide after-school programming to newcomer children and youth, so from K to 12. Basically what it is, we provide holistic programming to empower our newcomer students with the knowledge, experiences, and skills for them to be contributing members of society, to really equip them with the tools they need to be successful in their communities. We provide mentorship and tutorship. So we have volunteers, and we have volunteers from the community and also practicum students from universities and colleges that come and they do the practicum with us. And they work alongside us. So they help us plan, mentor, tutor. They help us with program activities. We do lesson planning. It's really cool. Like they support us and they get to learn what it's like to be part of the whole experience, right? And they also develop their relationships with the students. We also provide spring and summer programming in the schools. So we do connect with REACH Edmonton. They provide us with the school Joint Use Edmonton. And we do our 1 week during spring break camp. We love spring break camp. It's awesome. The kids have a great time. And then the summer programming, which is at 4 weeks. We try to push it to 6, but schools are like, nah, it's okay. You stay over there. It's all good. So it's really good. So we do like field trips. We go and we have, guest speakers. They come in. We do arts and crafts. We do a bunch of activities, but it's really a whole range of academic, social, recreation, leadership, and really the focus is on community engagement as well, especially with the older kids. So in the older kids, we really focus on leadership and community engagement, building their skills. And we partner up with community and partnership engagement, meaning that we partner up with different organizations in the city, Edmonton Public Library, Action for Healthy Communities, a whole bunch of different ones. And yeah, we work together. It's a very collaborative environment, which is what we, pride ourselves on. And that's where we are at this moment. The next thing that I want to talk to you guys about also is that last year, shortly before COVID, we actually partnered up with an organization called Muse Kids. What we did is we got a grant, and the grant provided us the ability to purchase ukuleles, keyboards, and musical instruments. And we were able to give children and youth like the opportunity to get music lessons where normally they can't afford it. We all know how expensive music lessons are. It's incredible. However, we were able to, provide that to our newcomers. And we did that virtually online and also in our office. But when COVID hit, we all went online. So up until this year, we were doing that. It was a really great program. We also did it in some schools prior to COVID because we taught the kids how to read music, learn music, write music. It was really cool. And they really enjoyed it. So these are some of the pictures that you could see up there. One of our PhD students, she was doing the musical notes. And my former colleague, she also taught music writing. So that was really amazing. Yeah. So when online hit, we had a whole bunch of kids joining us. It was really fun. So yeah, I'll take it over to my coworker, Gabriel, now, and he will talk.
Okay. So, I joined EISA in 2016, and I am mainly working in the, I would say, schools, public and Catholic. One of the ideas that I thought about in 2016 was newcomers, and especially when the Syrians arrived in late 2015, 2016, there was a big influx of teenagers exposed to a new country, new culture, and driving. Driving was a main idea because it's not only driving a car, but driving on snow, which they may not have any experience with. So I was like, okay, let's think about something. How can we make these teenagers more careful and at the same time more self-dependent? Because in Canada, as soon as they hit 16, they will be able to get their driver license, and you never know, probably they will have their own car. So let's get them ready, and if not, if they don't get a car, at least they will have a piece of ID. So that is something that if they go for a registry to get a piece of ID, they will have to pay for it. And then when they get their driver license, they will have to pay for it again. So it started as a simple idea. It started actually in Emile Lazard High School. We had a flex block. It was once a week or twice a week. And then it was students can choose from many programs or many classes. That was one of them, to teach them the guide, the 10 chapters. And it went from there and continued until today's date. Now it's in different places, not only in one school, in many schools that I lost count. It was in person. When COVID hit, it was online. And we thought about, okay, if we're doing it online for students, we might as well think about immigrant women empowerment. So we included mothers.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. I just accidentally.
It's okay. Yeah. So we included mothers as well in the program. So then there was another challenge. If it's online, there is no much of a body language to understand. So maybe we need to offer it in a different language. So being a native speaker of Arabic, we delivered the program in Arabic too, depending on the needs. And now, 2023 is back at Emile Lazard very soon. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, aside from that, we tend to see that teenagers, it's no secret, everybody knows that they're hooked to their phones, iPads, any video games. So that kind of kills the energy that they may need, kills their chances to build relationships in person, not behind the screens. So it was an idea between many agencies with collaboration with City of Edmonton. So they decided to come with programs for youth to help them become more active. And EISA was a member or a part of this group, and the Newcomer Youth Wellness Program came up last year. It started in September of 2022. Now, the program is currently running. It's in 2 recreation centers in the city. It's in Meadows Recreation Center and in Clairview. It runs 2 days per week in each site. Now, this program targets marginalized communities mainly. It does not look at immigration status. So as EISA, as Swiss, which means settlement workers in school, we are funded by the federal government to serve permanent residents only. But since this program is in collaboration with the city, immigration status is no longer an obstacle in the face of people who want to participate in this program. And for days and times, in Clairview, it's every Monday and Friday from 4 to 5:30. And in Meadows Rec Center, it's every Wednesday and Thursday from 4 to 5:30 as well. These are some photos from some activities that they can do. It's not a set schedule that will be playing only soccer, for example. No, it depends on the attendance, because it's not only registration, it's also walk-in. So we see the vibe. If people are interested in playing table tennis, then let's do it. even though our schedule may say basketball today. Sometimes we do pizza, some refreshments, to kind of, because when students come after school, they may get hungry. It depends on what they had for lunch. So all of this, it encourages the social skills between the newcomer teenagers, and especially in the marginalized community. It helps them create friends, and it helps them have fun. Okay. Now, aside from this one, it also gives the opportunity for volunteers. So what happens is, we always try to build this leadership, like Darine was now stressing about it. So we try to recruit volunteers from youth, from maybe even university students. So just to connect and build their relationship, build their social network, and they will be ready for the future. Okay. Now, this is a different program.
This is a completely different.
Now program. Now stands for Newcomer Orientation and Welcome Program. This program is way older than me in EISA, so I don't know when exactly it started, but I can say it goes back to...
It started a long time.
Early 2000s, probably?
Yeah, I would say even before that, but yeah, it's been around for a while.
Okay. It happens in the last week of August. It happens in high schools, mainly. And last week of August, what happens is, every year we work with the newcomer students. So before the end of the school year, or during the whole year actually, we try to build this relationship with them and with the teachers. And we ask teachers for recommendation. Who do you recommend of the new students to be a peer leader for newcomer students that will join the school next year? So we get some recommendation from the teachers. We interview them, and we see if they are interested in volunteering. So in the last week of August, we work with this selection of students. We train them. It's basically train the trainer, because they will be, we train them for 3 days, and the next 3 days we'll bring in the newcomer students that they just arrived into the country, and they have no idea about these schools, about the school system in Canada in general. And then they work with them. So they get them around the school, they show them how to get things done in the school, especially when they share their experiences, because it's different from when a newcomer student see, oh, this guy speaks my language, and he was a newcomer just last year, and now he's actually very comfortable, and they're showing me how to get around this big school like St. Joseph in here. It's easy to get lost in it. That school is way massive.
That's like early on, way back in the day. Okay, so.
See, so this one, in this case, the peer mentors, actually, if you notice, there are 3 colors in the t-shirts. Blue is for the staff, red is for the peer mentors, and white is for the new students. What happens is, the people who were in red, for example, in this year, in the year the photo was taken, we count their hours of volunteering. So we do agreement with student services in the school. We count these hours for them, and we give them certificate at the end of it. And for example, I remember in EISA, we count 75 hours of volunteering for 3 credits. They have to do it as one shot, and then after that, so they have to do it in one shot. That builds discipline and commitment. And then after that, we tell them, okay, now you don't have to do 75 again to get 3 credits. You do 25 and you get 1 credit every time. So this helps with building discipline, commitment, leadership skills, because they will get them around the school and they will show them how to get around. Social network, they can meet and build new friendships. And at the end of the day, they also get reference letters. So in high schools, they start looking for jobs, applying for scholarships, and they will need any reference letter that they can submit in their application. And we are the people where they can get one of those.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Gabriel. That was awesome. So I kind of want to get you guys to, oops, my, As we are getting mic'd up again, breaking news, I want you guys to sort of think about the early 2000s, because that's where we're going to go back in time. So, think your flip phones, NSYNC, cargo pants, back in the day when we were all, early 20s, maybe teenagers for some of you guys, maybe some of you weren't even born. I want to take you guys back to there because I want to talk to you guys about where we were. So, late 2000 and early 2010s, we actually had the program called Bridge to Success, and it delivered academic, social, recreation, and leadership program, but it was very small at the time, right? So again, it was during critical hours. So after school, we did have some at lunchtime program, but it was at select schools. EISA was really tiny at the time. We weren't like a big organization that we were today. So we were mainly at Baldwin, Edith Rogers, and Belvedere schools. And these were schools that were schools' hub, specifically Edith Rogers and Baldwin. I remember, my fellow colleague Amanda, she was a part of that. That's when I got hired on. And we just delivered programs to newcomer students, literacy, numeracy. Some of it was actually very academic focused. So we did a lot of academic games, literacy, get them speaking their English, really getting to know the vocabulary, the language of, the school. So that's what we worked on. And it was small. It was great. Amanda actually had, remember Cybex, the Cybex program where the students would have write letters to a robot called Cybex, and then we would write back. So we really focused on that aspect of language learning. It was great though. They got to really interact with the language, but we also did like games, they didn't just sit there and write worksheets. It wasn't like that at all. But also we had a lot of community partnership engagement. And by that I mean, because there were so many different agencies supporting each other in a school like Baldwin and Edith Rogers, we were able to work with them collaboratively. And I really want to speak to, the summer camps that we had. So we would do summer camps with our community partners. And it was at Edith Rogers, and that's where we have it. And then you had CSS, Action for Healthy Communities, different organizations, and we would all do a section of the day and deliver activities, and kids would just go to that. One of them was called Photo Voice. Do you guys remember the digital cameras?
Yes.
Yes. That. I don't know if that's still a thing. I know I still have that, but sorry. But yeah, we did projects with that, and it was really cool. And it was just like wholesome because it was prior to when, iPhone became a thing and iPads became a thing. So you really got to know the kids on that level. All right, so where we were, this is the part where I started with EISA. It was called the Youth Civic Engagement Program, and this was a really cool program. I came at the tail end of it, and what we did was, it was to promote a strong sense of Canadian identity and citizenship among immigrants and refugee youth. And when we talk about that, it's meant to really include them. You came to Canada as a refugee, you came as a newcomer. We really want you to feel welcome, and that was really the feeling that we wanted to make sure they had. And the point of it is, again, our guiding light is to empower newcomer youth with the academic, professional, volunteer, and leadership skills to participate and engage in the communities. So by that I mean is that because they were older, they were like at the cusp of the cusp of high school and a little bit older than high school, we really wanted to empower them with the skills, professional development, so resume building, volunteering. If they needed more language supports, I did that with them. I actually I connected them with employers. We went out in the community. We supported them with, going out and cleaning up the community, a neighborly friendly, getting to know each other, events. So we really wanted to make them feel like they were part of this community, but you also have to contribute. And in order for us to do that, we have to work together on your professional skills, on your leadership skills. So they really got that exposure, even employers, potential employers, and role models. So I was able to really connect them with role models. So the participating countries were from Thailand, Ethiopia, Yemen, India, Pakistan, Iraq, Syria, Somalia, Kazakhstan, Kenya, El Salvador, and Mexico. That were the primary, at the time, that's where the influx of immigrants were coming from. And so that's where they were, we really focused on that. It was a really cool experience. That was actually the Global Youth Conference at the U of A. That was me when I was really young. And Amarjeet chose, I never thought that day, like, you know, he's like the mayor now, which is cool. And these kids went on and did amazing things. So I'm really proud of them. The cool thing about this too is that they got references and they were referred to employers and whatever it is they needed. I made sure they were taken care of because they did such a good job. All right, so where do we go? The children and youth team. So we, again, focused on the critical care, mentorship and tutorship. We became bigger. So, and we had a lot of CSL and practicum student engagement. So it took on a bigger role because we really expanded in 2016 and we had more schools. We opened up to more schools. We went from 3 o'clock to 4:30, 5 o'clock. We had lunchtime programs. We had after school programs. We had, sorry, repeat that already. We had like programming that was going on through the day. And we really focused on, depending on what the need of the school was. So you had schools that needed only academic. But of course, we added the recreation part. Or some kids in junior high just learned through recreation. But the emphasis was always through learning. And so we made sure that they learned. And we did a lot of gaming or anything like, all the activities were adapted to their learning, and that's what really was the focus on. So again, mentorship and tutorship was huge. Community volunteers and role models and you know, employers and people that were like us. Like, I'm an immigrant myself, right? I wish I had these programs when I came to Canada early on. And people who just say, hey, you made it, right? Like some people from their own communities that say, you're an immigrant, you can be successful too. You're not just another statistic. And that's really what we want. We want everybody to win. And so that's kind of where we ended up. And then where we went, this is what I'm most proud of, because COVID, as we know, was chaos. Like everybody, like the world just plunged into chaos. What COVID did was highlight and emphasize where the family's strengths and also the weaknesses were. And that's where we came in, and we really just strengthened the program. We immediately went online. All of our kids, we made sure that our kids had access to technology. We did the referrals where we needed. The schools, of course, helped. It was a challenge to get everything online, but we did daily programming. If the hours didn't work, we adjusted, we modified. So, okay, fine. Like if this hour, you know, 3:30 to 4:30 didn't work for you, let's do 5 to 6 or lunchtime. Everything was so chaotic, but we were able to adapt and modify and do what we needed to do to make sure that the kids got what they needed. We did one-on-one. I did a lot of one-on-one. We did a lot of breakout sessions. Our spring and summer camps were actually online too. And that was actually really an interesting experience because all of us got through Google Classroom and kids were able to log in and they suggested activities. The one that I really actually thought was really cool, every week the kid would suggest a recipe and we would cook like a cultural food. Like we would do, you know, like something from Indian cuisine. The kids would teach us and they would say, okay, let's do cookies, eggless cookie. Or I showed them how to do like a Middle Eastern breakfast. That's what they really enjoyed. And they copied the recipe at home. But of course, like we would say, okay, this is the recipe. Can you afford to buy it? And they're like, yeah, the parents agreed. The parents would be involved in our summer camp too. So I would say the success was the fact that the need was there. People participated, kids participated. And the challenges, it was a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it was worth it. And, you know, again, the challenges highlighting some of the difficulties families were facing. So, but I'm really proud of that. That was, I think, the height of, you know, when we struggle, that's where you see the strength come in, and I'm really proud of that.
Actually, Darren, before you skip, there was actually an interesting thing that happened through the online. It helped us overcome a big challenge, which was commuting.
Yeah.
When we do a program in a certain school, there were always students who were left out because there isn't, for example, this school that is on the southeast, whatever side of the city that does not have a lot of immigrants, but they have maybe 3 or 4 students who need help. And through the online programming, they were able to join from all over the city.
Yeah.
That was a big plus for those students.
Yeah, exactly. So to add to that, we were able to capture the students that typically don't have access to these programs, right? So it's like, even in schools where we're not a settlement worker in school, like I have like 4 schools right now that I service, and you know, I have colleagues in 50, 70 schools, forgive me, that we service. And But some of the schools that we're not out of, they were able to access the programs, and that was a huge plus. So I mean, kids were able, they joined. Again, it was, lack of better words, a blessing in disguise in a way, because kids were able to get what they needed from us, and it was a really cool experience. Despite the COVID, again, I'm not trying to downplay COVID or anything. God forbid COVID, you know. Okay, so where are we going? This is a really good point. I actually wanted to talk to you guys about this special group of kids. This was my John Barnett program, and these are some of, like, I think before COVID, these were like my favorite group of CSL students who we hired on as part-time tutors, and they killed this program. So this was a high-needs school. It still is. But they made the program. So they help with planning, executing, and really making the program what it is: high literacy, high academic. But we were able to, every week we came up with really fun activities where the kids were so engaged. Some of the kids in the pictures that you see are from very successful families, but also very marginalized families. And I won't point out who, you know, obviously, but it was their go-to. That was their go-to for, you know, just take a break. This is my time. And I am so proud of some of my tutors and my CSL where they are now today. They just made it for what it is. They really love these kids. The kids love them. And so that's what it is. Like, where are we going? What is the future? I'm very confident it's bright, because we're continuing to be guided by the principle that we want to empower kids. You know, just not just newcomers, but everybody. If all the children are empowered and have the skills to be successful, because us adults are doing that, we want to see them win, then they can go anywhere, right? And that's our guiding, our driving force. We want to be happy and successful. But of course, because we're living in ever-changing times, we constantly have to learn how to adapt. COVID taught us that we constantly have to adapt. And I feel like it never changed. Like, every day my job is teaching me that I need to adapt, I need to adjust, modify, and that's going to continue, right? And I know it's fast paced, but as long as we're there with the back of our mind thinking, okay, we want these kids to win, we want them to be successful, because I never had that when I came to Canada, right? At least we can have that for them. Then I'm sure we can build these kids to be successful in their communities, contribute, and just, like, I don't know, doesn't it make you feel warm inside when you see other people happy? That's at least for me. And I'm speaking from a very personal place. So that's our goal, and that's our driving force. And I hope to see that, you know, that energy goes, like, it's contagious, right? So, and I hope that we continue to evolve and adapt and work together. Ultimately, we also want to be collaborative and work with each other, because we can't do this alone. We need you guys, and we all need to support each other in the best way that we can. And yeah, that's honestly, I'm speaking from a very heartfelt place and personal place. we can't do this without you guys. We need each other. And in order for these kids to succeed, we need to really be coming from that place where we want them to win and be happy. And yeah, that concludes my portion. Gabriel, do you have anything left to say? Thank you guys so much for having us. This was great. Does anybody have...